We are all united in trying to get back to work in a safe and responsible way.
Leaders of California's biggest theme parks, including Disneyland Resort, Universal Studios, Knott's Berry Farm, and Legoland in Carlsbad, are pushing back against new reopening guidelines that they say will only keep amusement parks closed.
We've seen all seven other Legoland parks around the world reopen safely with millions of guests and around 20,000 employees.
State health officials recently toured open theme parks in other parts of the country, and they were impressed by how lines were managed and the ability to space groups apart, but they still had concerns, especially with tourists.
People may keep their guard up while they're in let's say, a theme park, but when they are milling around the community, their guard may go down, and that could be just enough to create outbreaks and transmission risks that California just doesn't want to see.
Theme park leaders say many visitors to their parks in other states during the pandemic are actually locals, and they feel like state officials just aren't listening.
Not taking into account, at least from our perspective, any of the things that they saw other than, what they're most concerned about.
And I think it shouldn't go without mentioning the impact on our area and on the community in which we're an enormous part of. We're the biggest employer here in Carlsbad, and further extension of closure is just not acceptable.
Under new rules, large theme parks can only open in counties that have reached the state's least restrictive reopening tier of yellow, but San Diego County has been hovering near the state's most restrictive tier.
It really weighs to feel like, your state officials are okay with jobs being lost at an alarming level.
Under new guidelines, Belmont Park in Mission Beach is considered a small theme park and can reopen rides if San Diego reaches the second less restrictive reopening tier.
While we're that step above the big parks, it's still a bit deflating for the team, because they look at the numbers and they realize how far off that is.
While the famous roller coaster is shut down and the arcade, the nearly 100-year-old park has adapted with some new outdoor attractions, but
it's not sustainable. It's really tough.
Legoland has its hotel, aquarium, and a couple of other attractions open just on a limited basis. While SeaWorld San Diego has been approved to open under guidance for museums and zoos, they're currently running their Halloween-themed spooktacular on the weekends. A spokeswoman for the California Attractions and Parks Association says negotiations to reopen theme parks will continue, and in terms of possible legal action, all options are on the table. Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.